Time now to welcome in Douglas County head coach Johnny White. Coach, thanks a lot for being with us. Look forward to seeing you guys play here in 2025.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, you open up the season against North Gwinnett in the Corky Kell Classic at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Very exciting. You bring back 8 starters on offense, or maybe 9, including 5 on the offensive line and 4 on defense. Is this year that your Tigers win the state championship?
This is the year we plan on getting better every week. I mean, those are great aspirations. We would love to be in that fight. 6A is real tough. So we just got to take it week by week. Got to stay prayed up, hoping we can beat the injury bug. And maybe if it does happen, next man got to be up. But we're going to enjoy this ride, play week by week. Right now, my total concern is North Gwinnett.
Well, I tell you what, the ride has been great. 2 years in a row, you've had halftime leads in the state semifinals and had the lead or tied going into the fourth quarter, but you didn't get the win. You've been that close. How has that motivated your team in the offseason, and what's kind of been the message to your guys going into this year for a lot of them, their senior seasons?
I mean, the message is, what little things did we not do to get for that thing to happen? Not taking anything from Woodwood or from Grayson, but it was some little things that we made some mistakes on that we had to fix. Then as a coaching staff, because we've been to the semifinals last 2 years, what do we need to tweak to get better? So we made some tweaks from our practice schedule to the way we work out to just try to get better. But at the same time, like, you got to crawl before you walk, and then you gotta walk before you can run. So, that first year was a big group of sophomores. Last year's a big group of juniors, and this year's a big group of seniors. So we're hoping our seniors can get us to start at the Benz against North Gwinnett, and we're praying to try to finish at the Benz at the end of the season.
No doubt about it. That's a big reason why I got you guys ranked number 2 in my preseason rankings for 6A, right behind Grayson, the defending state champions. It's been the best 2-year run in the program's 92-year history, going 24-4. We've talked about this in the past, and you kind of adopted the mentality of Kirby Smart, putting a fence around the state, in your case, putting a fence around the county, because for so long, Douglas County, some of their best players would end up playing in Cobb or in South Fulton or in Carroll County, but you've done a great job of retaining the players in your county. You've even made this kind of a destination for players who want to transfer. Kind of your philosophy on how you kind of revitalized this program.
Well, when we first got here, we hung our hats on all we care about is 2 things: championships and scholarships. So we want to try to play for championships, but we also want to make sure that we give these guys an opportunity to go to school. So to go to school, the first thing is academics. It's a whole lot easier to sell a kid with a 4.0 than it is with a kid with a 2.5.
No doubt.
So we stress academics. Plus, this is an IB school. So when I first got here, my second year, we had 8 guys with 4.0s that was in the IB program. So, of course, it was easy to sell those guys. And right now, we've been doing a great job, not just me, but our entire staff, of using our networking and trying to get all these kids opportunities. Is everybody going to Georgia? Of course not. A lot of kids, Georgia's going to get the best of the best. And all these D1s right now are getting the best of the best. But if you buy into our program, we're going to try to find a home for you to play college football. It may be at the D2 level, the 1AA, or the FCS level, or even the NAIA level. But we're going to try to find some money for you to go to school.
And getting an opportunity in this day and age of the transfer portal, it's not necessarily where you start your college football career, it's where you finish. So get that open door. Get that open door. And you guys have done a great job of doing that for these guys. So congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm. We're going to keep working on it.
Absolutely. So this will be your 10th season at Douglas County and your 13th season overall as a head coach. We know you were a head coach at Creekside, and before that you were a coordinator at Langston Hughes. Tell everybody about your football background and kind of what was your biggest influence, or who was your biggest influence on you as a coach as you go about your business on a daily basis.
Okay, well, that's easy. So this is my 25th year in Georgia. But people don't realize I actually have 5 years in Virginia. I'm a Virginia Beach guy. I played at Liberty University under the great Cleveland Brown coach Sam Rutigliano. So I was a defensive coordinator at a school called Green Run High School in Virginia Beach. And the head coach at the time was a guy that's my biggest mentor by the name of Cadillac Harris. With me not having a father figure growing up, he became my father figure. I was a defensive coordinator at 23 years old. And the funny story is, after our second year, we had some big thing players. I coached Plexico Barris in high school that I talk to on a daily basis. Our head coach takes a week leave. He's gone for a week. And when he comes back to school, I'm teaching my class. I am 24, getting ready to turn 25 in June. He walks in my classroom and says, Coach White, we need to go see the principal. And I'm sitting there thinking, what the world did I do? I've done everything I'm supposed to do. He walks me in the principal's office and says, Cadillac Harris says, I just took a job as the head coach of Elizabeth City State University, a D2 NAIA, a D2 HBCU school. And he tells the principal either Johnny White's the next head coach of Green Run High School, or he's going to be the youngest coordinator in college football. Coach White, let's go. And we walk out the room. 20 minutes later, I'm the head coach at Green Run High School.
Wow.
So I got my first head coaching job at 24, but it was 25 when the season started. So I did that for 3 years, and then Coach Sam called me back to coach at Liberty. So I coached at Liberty for a year and a half. I was the D-line coach there. And then when he retired, we were recruiting. I was recruiting in Macon, Georgia, at Central Macon when he retired. And I was meeting with CB Cornett at the time, and he offered me a job on the spot. So I moved from Virginia to Georgia, sights unseen.
And the
So
rest
that's
is
how,
history, as they like to
and
say.
the rest is history. Blessed. God put me where He wanted me to be, and I'm very happy for that.
It's been a great run for you, and it's been a pleasure to work with you, over the last decade plus as we've gotten to
Mhm.
know each other. It's been a lot of
Yes, sir.
fun. So, let's take a look at your team here in 2025. Let's begin with your new quarterback. Michael Johnson transferred in from Dutchtown, and he's committed to Utah. What have you seen from Michael as he takes the reins of your offense?
Very cerebral. As good as an athlete he is, he really takes the playbook and wants to understand everything. He does a great job with our coordinators, Coach Quinn and Coach Hilton, Route King. So he's really bought into everything we do. We had to catch him up when he got here, but he's done a phenomenal job, and he's such an exceptional athlete that his feet really can make a difference. So he's done a great job. He's taking leadership of what we do, and I'm really happy that he's here.
Look forward to seeing him play. He's got probably the top wide receiver group in the state to throw the ball to. Of course, everybody knows about Aaron Gregory, who's committed to Texas A&M, and Florida State commit Devin Carter. You can tell us about them, but those aren't the only guys in the room.
No, those two are great, great guys. They work their tails off. I've been saying it ever since the spring, and I'll say it until the cows come home. Devin Carter is the heartbeat and the leader of this football team. Devin Carter leads in the weight room. He leads in practice. Just to see the effort he gives to the young receivers, trying to make sure they understand our offense. He does a great job. Aaron does a great job of leading, but Aaron's leading is definitely by example. So those are two great guys. But we got a young guy that we're looking forward to seeing as a freshman. You remember we had James Johnson all those years,
Big
unbelievable
loss. Yep.
athlete. We have his little brother who's already bigger than him,
Wow.
named Jeremiah Mathis, who's going to be making plays for us. Rocky Kelly, who also plays running back, we're playing him a lot at the slot. Um, and then Dre Reading, who's a corner for us, has been in our program all 4 years. He's gonna do a lot for us at receiver as well. So our receiver room is probably about 7 to 8 deep. Got David Clowney the fifth. His dad played in the NFL. Is a coach at Missouri Southern, a young guy. So we're going to be looking, even though we got some vets, it's going to be time for some young guys to make some plays for us this year as well.
Very deep room. Had an opportunity to meet Dexter Carter, Devin's dad, when
Mm-hmm.
we were out there at Jimmy Johnson Stadium last year, and that was a pleasure to visit with him and
Mm-hmm.
he kind of told us the process of why Devin ended up being a wide receiver. Aside from the fact that he's got a wide receiver body, his dad,
Exactly.
he's got a wide receiver body, but his dad was like always pushing him to go wide receiver instead of running back because he felt like that's where the game was going. And of course, his dad, who played in the National Football League, was right.
Exactly. That's where the game is right now.
Well, you still got to have a running back, and you still got to have an offensive line. You got senior running back Zamarcus Lindley coming back, and 5 starters on that offensive line, including massive 2027 4-star Josh Samapel, I should say, and he's the baby of the group.
Yes, he's the baby. He started last year. but the other four have been starting since all sophomores. So you got Eddie Offal, who's committed to Memphis, Joshua Vaughn that plays center for us, and our two guards are Julius Dumas and Chase Madu. They all have offers, so we're just trying to solidify where they're going. But Eddie's already committed to Memphis, and then Josh on the other side, he's probably going to have everybody. He's got most of the people in the country right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's 6'9", 320 pounds, and very athletic.
He's huge. I mean, it's unbelievable how big he is when you're there at the stadium and you see him on that offensive line. But the real key here on your offensive line was the decision you made 2 years ago. When you had seniors, you had upperclassmen, but you decided to go with the sophomores and stick them in there as a group. And now it's paying off. Well, it paid off for you then. Now it's really paying off for you as you go into this 2025 season.
Yeah, that's always been my rule as long as I've been as long as I've been a head coach. My rule has always been, and I said at the first parent meeting, and my kids know it straight up. If the competition is close, I'm going young. Bottom line. If the competition is close, I'm going young. So right now, we got some young guys that are really pushing the envelope, especially on defense, that it may be some seniors they may be tapping on the shoulders real soon.
Wow. Well, let's jump over there to that defensive side of the ball. You got to replace all three starters, pardon me, at the linebacking spot, including Mike Hasty, who was just a great tackle machine for you. But you do bring back two starters on the D line, led by Texas A&M commit Jordan Carter. Talk about what you're going to do there in that linebacking core, and also what you got Jordan Carter and that defensive line coming back.
Well, we returned one starter, Stephen Jones, who made a second-team All-Region last year. He started all the games with Mike Hasty. So we're bringing him back. He's going to be our leader on defense. Jordan Carter and Solomon Fabian have played very well for us. So right now up front, we're starting a sophomore who's going to be a big name to hear. Stephen McClennan. He's 6'4.5", 225 pounds, and he's a sophomore, and he runs like the wind. So he's going to be the next big thing coming out of Douglas County. We also have Jordan Smith, who plays the nose guard for us. He's a junior. He's 6'2", 270 right now. And I just know I'm just waiting for his knees to start hurting because his mom is 6'1" and his dad is 6'4". And he's just 15, hasn't turned 16 yet. So the growth spurt's going to come. So we're just waiting for it to come. I think before he graduates, he's going to be 6'4", 6'5". Wow. So we're really excited there. We have Richard Dice, who transferred from Westlake at the linebacker, who's doing well. And we have a young guy by the name of Kendrick Howard Jr., He's a sophomore. He's definitely in the rotation, and all three of those guys are special.
Secondary, you have three outstanding safeties. Want to hear how you're going to work all those guys into the mix. Indiana commit Jamar Owens returns for his senior year. You got a couple of 2027 four-stars in Adrian Cole and Kennedy Green, both of those newcomers to your program.
They're all doing well. And having those three really, believe it or not, really helps us out because now we can move Jamar to corner a little bit more. Jamar's such a superior athlete. Like, he's one of the best athletes I've ever coached. He reminds me so much of a guy I had at Creekside by the name of Joshua Hosey, who went to Auburn.
I remember him.
They're very similar in how they attack the game and how they play football. So we're going to start them off at safety. Both of those three, one will play the nickel, the other two will play safety. They're all interchangeable. All three can play both of them. So we're really excited what we have in the secondary. It's probably the deepest secondary I've had in a long time.
Coach, you're deep at a lot of spots. I would agree that that safety and that secondary spot is extraordinarily deep.
And that's not even to mention Aaron Gregory, who played both ways
right.
all of last year.
That's right.
He started both ways all last year. So right now he doesn't have to start at safety, but he's still going to get his reps on defense for us.
You can plug him in there in those special situations where you really need him. He can spell those guys. What a luxury to have.
It's a blessing, definitely that.
Schedule, in addition to the Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic, you've got Langston Hughes. Coach Boone's moved on, so Coach Boone's moved to Northside Warner Robins. I look forward to having them on the schedule soon, I'm guessing. But Langston Hughes and Buford back-to-back weeks, September 5th and 12th in your non-region. Of course, GBB Sports Football Fridays in Georgia will be there for your game against the Buford Wolves. We'll look forward to that. And, of course, to get into your region schedule, Region 2, 6A, and the one at the end of the schedule really jumps off the page. Of course, that's the maybe for the region championship when you guys travel to Carrollton. Should be a fun schedule there for you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun schedule. And then starting off with North Gwinnett isn't an easy game as
No,
well.
not at all.
They're a great football team. They're led by a great coaching staff. I've known Coach Gott for a while. He does an unbelievable job. His son is a straight beast, and they're going to be hard to beat. We're gonna have to bring our A game to get past them. Then we go to Langston. I think Coach Enrico Hines does a great job with everything he does, being the coordinator at Creekside when they won the state, being the coordinator at Langston when they won the state. He's an offensive mind. He's got some great coaches around him. And then we go to Buford. I don't know what the stadium's called, but we've been calling the Baby Benz. It's the Baby Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So we get to go and go and play there and see all the bells and whistles. Great team. Coach Ampler does a great job. What I will say is this. We plan on making the playoffs, and after those 10 games, I know we'll be battle ready.
You will be battle tested. There's no doubt about that. The official name of the stadium, by the way, is Philip Beard Stadium. Coach App, when we had him on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, they're just calling it the Beard.
Okay.
So you're going to the Beard,
Okay.
to play Buford. So that'll be fun. But you got a lot of football to go before you get to that date. And we look
Yes,
forward
sir.
to it.
A lot of it. We still have to play Jonesboro's a great team.
They're loaded too. They got a
They're
lot of
always loaded. And then Newton County comes here. Good football team, hard-nosed, physical team. So we got our hands full every week.
You guys will be ready to go by the time that region schedule kicks in.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for visiting with us here on the podcast, and we look forward to catching up with you definitely that week of September 12th and, of course, later on in the season as well. And best of luck as you guys pursue that 2025 state championship.
Thank you. Thank you. We're praying on getting back to the Benz at the end of the season, but we just got to go stay prayed up, keep family first, and just go and take it week by week. But thank you for having me.